శ్రీ ముత్తవరపు వెంకటేశ్వరరావు కాలేజ్ ఆఫ్ ఇంజనీరింగ్ అండ్ టెక్నాలజీ 2008 లో స్థాపించిన కళాశాలలో MBA, NAC A గ్రేడ్ మరియు ISO సర్టిఫికేషన్ సాధించిన మొట్టమొదటి కళాశాల శ్రీ ముత్తవరపు వెంకటేశ్వరరావు కాలేజ్ ఆఫ్ ఇంజనీరింగ్ అండ్ టెక్నాలజీ త్వరలో అటానమస్ కాబోతోంది.
2014లో ISO గుర్తింపు, 2015లో రాష్ట్ర ప్రభుత్వంచే A గ్రేడ్, 2016లో NAC A గ్రేడ్, ఇప్పుడు NBA సాధించిన సంస్థ శ్రీ ముత్తవరపు వెంకటేశ్వరరావు కాలేజ్ ఆఫ్ ఇంజనీరింగ్ అండ్ టెక్నాలజీ.
Students, this is Chinnabaji and I am going to take the linear IC applications subject for you. And first of all, we are going to discuss about this linear IC applications, linear ICs. So what are the linear ICs we are going to cover in this subject? So firstly, we are going to discuss about operational amplifier and what is the internal structure of this operational amplifier, and 555 timer as well as PLL and voltage control oscillator, and some of the applications using this op amp, as well as some of the applications we are going to cover using this 555 timer, and also some of the applications using phase lock loop, that is 555, and also 565, and also VCO, voltage controlled oscillator. So regarding this, so this course is divided into 5 units. So in the first unit we are going to cover the basic block diagram of operational amplifier. So we are going to discuss what is inside this operational amplifier. So operational amplifier is an IC. So before going to discuss about this operational amplifier, so this is an integrated circuit. So integrated circuit means up to now you have studied about the semiconductor devices like diode, transistor, and different circuit using this diodes and transistors like amplifiers, oscillators, etc. So now we are going to implement this using different circuits using this operational amplifier. So in this integrated circuit, so the integrated circuit means mainly several circuits we are going to build upon the same base, a small base, nothing but. So with the help of improvements in the semiconductor technology, we are going to manufacture several circuits on a single small chip like structure. So that is called an IC. So on that IC we are going to fabricate these different types of circuits. So this operational amplifier includes 4 different circuits, and these 4 different circuits we are going to implement on a single base, and this is called operational amplifier, and we are going to study about that in the first chapter. So this operational amplifier, the main block of this operational amplifier is differential amplifier. Why we have chosen this differential amplifier is because of its high gain. We have chosen this differential amplifier. So we are going to study about this differential amplifier. So how this differential amplifier is implemented using transistors, that is nothing but bipolar junction transistors, and how the operating points, how to find these operating points, that is nothing but DC analysis, that is we are going to find the operating current as well as the operating voltages, and as well as, so coming to this differential amplifier, it is having 2 types of gains, that is a differential gain and as well as common mode gain. So we are going to find the differential gain, and we are going to see how to find the differential gain and also how to find the common mode gain. So what is common mode and what is difference mode also we are going to discuss in this chapter. And finally we are going to see the AC analysis. In this AC analysis we are going to find the differential gain as well as common mode gain, and also input impedance as well as output impedance of this differential amplifier. And this differential amplifier is divided into 4 configurations. So those four configurations you can see here, that is dual input balanced output, single ended input balanced output, and dual input unbalanced output, dual input balanced output, dual input unbalanced output. So these four configurations we are going to discuss in this chapter, as well as how these four blocks, I have said that the four blocks consisting this operational amplifier, these four blocks is coupled using DC coupling, that is direct coupled amplifiers. So the first block and second block includes the differential amplifier. The main the block of this is differential amplifier. Op amp is a differential amplifier, and then next two blocks will be a level shifter and as well as a push pull amplifier. So we are going to see that in this first chapter. We are going to discuss about level translator, what is the level translator and how it is going to work, and how it is implemented using transistor, and how it is going to be implemented, and this the analysis of that also we are going to study in this chapter. So in the first chapter we have covered about this operational amplifier internal structure. Then coming to the second chapter, so we are going to study about different characteristics of operational amplifier. So that is integrated what is an integrated circuit, and how the characteristics of op amp will be, and the types of different operational amplifiers and their classification. So what are the different package types are there, that is different types of packages will be there in manufacturing. So like a can type, flat cable, ribbon cable type, the flat type IC, and different types will be there, and their packaging types and their temperature ranges, as well as power supplies. So what are the power supplies we are going to use for this operational amplifier, and its practical op amp characteristics as well as ideal op amp characteristics. How this op amp should be worked, how this op amp should is going to work ideally as well as practically how it is going to work. This we are going to discuss in this chapter, and its features. So what are the different different values for that, like gain, input impedance, output impedance, as well as CMRR, common mode rejection ratio, will be there for this operational amplifier. So we are going to discuss about that, and also measurement. So what are the different how to measure these parameters, what we have discussed now, the parameters, that is input resistance, output resistance, as well as it is having some offset voltages, input offset voltage, output offset voltage, common mode rejection ratio, as well as currents, input offset currents, output offset currents, slew rate. So here you can see the slew rate, and CMRR, PSRR, and drift, and frequency compensation techniques, and different frequency compensation techniques also we are going to discuss in this chapter. That is nothing but how this circuit, this op amp is going to perform according to the signal which we have given. So what is the frequency response of this operational amplifier, that is how much effectively this operational amplifier is going to work at different frequencies. So at particular frequencies it is going to work well, and some other frequencies it is not going to work well. So what are those frequencies, at what frequencies it is going to perform its nature, that is its work well. So that we are going to see in this that is nothing but frequency response of this operational amplifier, and frequency compensation techniques. So if it is less, so for example, if the op amp is operating less than 10 kilohertz range, so how to improve this range? This can be done with the help of frequency compensation techniques. So we are going to study about those frequency compensation techniques also in this chapter, second chapter. And in this frequency compensation techniques we are going to cover dominant pole compensation and pole zero compensation. So this is about the second chapter. In the second chapter we are going to discuss about this characteristics of op amp and how to measure those characteristics. So we are going to see the DC characteristics as well as AC characteristics and their measurement, and frequency response as well as frequency compensation techniques in this chapter. And coming to the third unit, so here we can see linear and non-linear applications of op-amp. So after discussing in the first chapter, we have discussed about the internal structure of the op-amp, and the second chapter we are going to discuss about the different parameters of the op-amp, that is characteristics of op-amp. And in third chapter we are going to study we are going to learn how to use this operational amplifier, that is operational amplifier applications. So here we can see this operational amplifier applications. This can be used as inverting amplifier, non-inverting amplifier, how it is going to work as inverting amplifier and non-inverting amplifier. This op-amp is having two inputs, that is inverting input as well as non-inverting input. So if the input is given to the inverting input signal is given to the inverting input, then it is going to act as inverting amplifier. If it is given to the non-inverting input, it is going to act as non-inverting amplifier. So how it is going to perform this operation? So how it is going to amplify the signal using theoretically and as well as practically, we are going to learn in the laboratory session. So next, differentiator integrator. How it is going to act as an integrator? Op-amp is going to act as an integrator, and how it is going to act as a differentiator. So we are going to study the equation analysis part also in this chapter for every application. Difference amplifier. So we know that op-amp is nothing but the inbuilt circuit of the op-amp is differential amplifier. The name itself indicates it is a difference amplifier circuit. So it produces the difference output. So it is also going to act as a difference amplifier. And instrumentation amplifier, this is the major concept in this chapter. So the main concept, because this instrumentation amplifier is used in every equipment, so where conversions is there, such as you can see the weighing machines and different electronic mechanical to electronic machines, there we are going to use converters, and there we are going to use this instrumentation amplifier perfectly, where we are going to measure the temperatures, where we are going to measure the humidities. So there we are going to use the converter. After that converter, we are going to use this instrumentation amplifier. So how op-amp is going to perform its applications as an instrumentation amplifier, we are going to see there. And next, AC amplifier. Next, V2I converter. How this op-amp is going to convert the given voltage into current, respective current. That means it is going to, if the input voltage is going to change, the output current is going to change. So how it is going to perform, we are going to see analytically as well as we are going to see practically also. I to V converter. And next, converters, buffers, how it is going to act as a buffer. Buffer is nothing but it is going to produce whatever the signal is given at the input will be producing at the output. It is going to act as an isolation circuit. So next, non-linear function generator. So how function generator means it is going to generate three types of signals, as you know that you are using in the laboratories. So it is going to generate three types of signals, you know that. So those signals are nothing but a sine wave, square wave and triangle wave. So how it is going to generate a sinusoidal signal, how it is going to generate a square wave signal, how it is going to generate a triangle wave signal. So that is nothing but non-linear function. So linear signal as well as non-linear signal. So linear function, that is how it is going to generate a sinusoidal wave, we are going to study. And comparators, you know that comparator, you have already studied about the comparator in your another subject. So this how that comparator can be implemented by using this op-amp, we are going to see in this chapter. And as well as multivibrators. So multivibrator is one of the digital circuit, nothing but. So how to implement this multivibrators? There are three types of multivibrators, you know that. That is a bistable multivibrator, astable multivibrator and monostable multivibrator. So how to implement this astable and monostable using this operational amplifier, we are going to see in this chapter. So analysis part, we are going to see how it is going to generate this square wave using this multivibrator function, we are going to observe in this chapter, as well as how it is going to generate a triangular wave and how it is going to generate a square wave, we are going to observe. And as well as not only this, we are going to you are going to observe that logarithmic and anti-logarithmic operations also. So how this operational amplifier is going to convert logarithmic value into
anti-logarithmic value as well as anti-logarithmic value into logarithmic value. So this also we can perform. And precision rectifiers. So how this op amp is going to use as rectifiers also we are going to see in this chapter. So by seeing all these applications, so we can say that this circuit, this op amp, why it is named as op amp means, so this is going to perform major mathematical operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, logarithmic conversions. So you can see here. So in this chapter, different applications by using different by using this op amp, we have seen that different applications. So this op amp, this is named as operational amplifier. So it performs mathematical operations. So it is named as different mathematical operations. So it is named as operational amplifier. So now this is in this third chapter we are going to discuss about the applications of operational amplifier. So as we have seen that first chapter we are going to study about the internal structure, and second chapter its characteristics, and third chapter we are going to study about the applications of operational amplifier. And coming to the fourth chapter, so how active filters. So the fourth chapter is active filters, analog multipliers, active filters, analog multipliers and modulators. So here you can see active filters. So active means, so we are going to use filters, we are going to design a filter using active components. Here the active component is our operational amplifier. So how to implement these filters using operational amplifier we are going to see. So as we know that we have different types of filters, that is such as low pass filter, high pass filter, band pass filter, band reject filter. So here we are going to see different types, how to implement different types of filters using this operational amplifier. So their design, analysis. So here we have different types of filters. Butterworth filter, based upon their operation they are classified into different types. Butterworth, Chebyshev filters. So here we are going to discuss about the Butterworth filter. So what is a Butterworth filter, we are going to discuss about that. And what is a Chebyshev filter, we are going to discuss about that. And what is a Coyer filter, we are going to discuss about that. And based upon those we are having Butterworth filter and first order second order filters. So low pass filter first order, low pass filter second order, as well as high pass filter first order, high pass filter second order, and band pass filters. And we are going to study about the band reject filters. So how to implement this band pass filter and how to implement this band reject filter, analysis part as well as the practical part also we are going to see in the laboratory. And all pass filter. So all pass filter is going to pass all the signals, that how to implement that circuit using this operational amplifier we are going to study about that. And 4 quadrant multiplier we are going to study in this chapter. And IC 1496, so this is a modulator, and sample and hold circuits. So in this fourth chapter we are mainly concentrating on filters, how to implement the filters, different types of filters using this operational amplifier. And coming to the fifth chapter, timers, phase locked loops, introduction. So here timer IC is nothing but introduction to 555 timer. So in this chapter we are going to discuss about the 555 timer IC. So up to now we have discussed about the operational amplifier. Now we are going to discuss about this 555 timer. So in this 555 timer, operational amplifier is an inbuilt block. So how to design, how to implement this 555 timer using operational amplifier, we are going to see that. And the functional diagram of this 555 timer. So how to implement a monostable, astable multivibrator using this 555 timer, and how to implement a Schmitt trigger using this 555 timer we are going to study in this chapter. As well as we are going to study about the VCO, that is voltage controlled oscillator. The IC number is 566, and we are going to study about VCO. And this VCO circuit is also implemented by using operational amplifier only. So how to implement this VCO, first we are going to study about that, and then we are going for phase locked loop, that is 565 PLL. So this VCO is internally used in PLL. So how to implement PLL using this operational amplifier, VCO and also VCO, and different applications using different applications that PLL is used for different applications, that is frequency multiplication, frequency translation, and amplitude modulation, frequency modulation, and frequency shift keying. So these modulators as well as demodulators, we are going to discuss about that, how to implement those using this operational amplifier, 555 timer, as well as phase lock loop. So we are going to cover these three ICs in this 5th chapter, and how to implement monostable and astable using 555 timer in this 5th chapter. And finally, coming to the 6th chapter. So 6th chapter is going to discuss about digital to analog converters and analog to digital converters. So these are mainly used where so we want to transfer the data from one end to another end. So we have analog lines. So our home system, in our home we are having systems, that is digital systems. So first we are going to convert whatever the data is in our digital systems into the analog part, and then we are going to transfer those part into the analog wire, and then that will be transferred to the end, that is end. So there will be another process. So again this analog signal will be converted into digital part, and then it will be connected to the system there. So here this plays a major role, that is digital to analog converters and analog to digital converters plays a major role. So we are going to discuss about this digital to analog converters. Digital to analog converters are different types. The main basic type is weighted resistor type. Next this is having some drawback, and we are going to discuss about the drawback, and we are going to how to eliminate the drawback using next thing, that is nothing but R2R ladder type. And then we are going for IC 1408 digital to analog converter. So these different types of digital converters we are going to discuss here, digital to analog converters, as well as next we are going to discuss about analog to digital converters. In this analog digital converters, there are different types, that is parallel comparator type, and counter type, and successive approximation type, and dual slope ADC converters. So what are the major drawbacks and why we are going for another thing? So we are going to discuss about that, and we are going to discuss the next task. And then digital to analog converters and their specifications we are going to discuss in this chapter. So finally, so we are going to concentrate mainly on operational amplifier. The first chapter is going to discuss about the internal structure of the operational amplifier, and in the second chapter we are going to study the characteristics of this that operational amplifier, and in the third chapter we are going to study about the applications of that operational amplifier. In the fourth chapter we are going to study about the filters, different types of filters using the operational amplifier. And the fifth chapter we are going to study about the ICs, different ICs by using this operational amplifier, that is a 555 timer, and 565, as well as 566, that is a phase lock loop, as well as voltage controlled oscillator. And finally, in the sixth chapter we are going to study about analog and digital to analog converters, as well as the analog to digital converters. This is the introduction of this course. So next, thank you students. Next class onwards we are going to come into the subject.